Hi there viewers, this is Glebro Junction and today's video is a review on the new Heljan Class 128 DPU, and I have decided to get the late BR Blue version with the full yellow ends, and this is my review on it. Okay, so the first thing that I'd noticed with this particular model is the actual weight. The weight of this model. My initial thoughts is it's very heavy. Which is always a good thing because we know that this loco is going to run very well and it's going to pull a lot of stock. It's the same as all other Heljan models. Most of them seem to be very heavy, and this is why I choose to buy Heljan over most models, because they're very sturdy. They've got very good detailing, and up until now the price has all been very good, but these are the price started to creep up a bit now. But I'm hoping this particular model is going to be well worth the £100 that I spent on it. Okay, so one of the other reasons why I choose to buy Heljan models is the packaging. Up until now, Heljan have used the very thick hard cardboard boxes with the thick foam inside that obviously keep the loco safe whilst it's in transport. And that was one of the reasons why I like to buy the Heljans, because the whole package that they offer, including their loco with the packaging, makes me want to buy the actual locos. Now, there's something that I think Bachmann and Hornby need to follow. The likes of V-Trains or V-Trains, they do the same thing with the packaging and the boxes. It just makes the whole overall appearance worthwhile. As you can see in this video, Heljan have actually changed the packaging of the boxes, and it looks as though they've gone down the same route as the likes of Bachmann and Hornby. As you can see, it's just in a normal flimsy cardboard box with a sleeve, and obviously the window that you can actually see the loco through. That's quite tight, and there we have it, exactly the same as Hornby and Bachmann. So first of all, well, my first initial thoughts is this has already been let down by the packaging. Okay, maybe that's just me being picky, but I like the actual boxes. If I need to move house, then I've got something strong and supportive to hold the locos in. And maybe this is just a cheaper way of doing it, which I'm a bit annoyed about, because this loco cost me £100, and I think with £100 I should get all bells and whistles inclusive. Okay, so I've gone ahead and removed the loco from its box and removed the sleeve, which we'll put over there. And okay, so it's the same as all the other packaging from the likes of Hornby and Bachmann. I'm not sure whether they've added that extra bit of plastic there, but they have added the polystyrene blocks, which I suppose gives it a bit more support. Now if I go ahead and remove it from the packaging, which could prove a little difficult. I have to open the sides and take it out, and there we are. Okay, so along with the loco itself, obviously you get your instruction booklet, which obviously just shows you all the parts for the loco and how to remove the body, which is always good, because with Heljans they're not always that easy. You do get a little pack of spare parts, which are just the NEM couplings and a couple of hooks, which is all you get. And the loco itself, when I see the picture of this on Hatton's, I had to buy myself one. Now, I don't know nothing about the 128, and until I saw the picture on Hatton's, I didn't even know it existed, in all honesty. So I couldn't even tell you the first thing about this model, except I do know it ended its life in 1991, and I think there was only 3 or 4 liveries. There was obviously the BR green, and there was the early BR blue, and obviously the late BR blue with the full yellow ends, which is this one. Now, when I saw the picture, I see the detailing on it, and I just had to buy it because it just looks absolutely brilliant. And I think I'm going to be marking this one very highly, depending obviously what else I find on the loco when we have a look at it. Okay, so the main reasons I like to buy the Heljan models, the first reason is the weight of all Heljan models are always pretty good. And like I was saying with the weight of the box before I'd even got the loco out, it seemed very heavy. Now I've got it in my hand, that has got an awful lot of weight to it, and I have to say it's probably the heaviest loco that I now own. And they have packed an awful lot of weight in there, which is very good, because as we all know, a lot of weight adds to very smooth running and pulling capabilities as well. As well as that, I say the Heljan have very good motors in, and they do tend to run very smoothly, which is one of the reasons why I like to buy them. The other reason is I like the Heljan models because they do tend to add a lot of detail to their locos. Now, without looking at this properly, I can already see that Heljan have added an awful lot of detail, not just to the body but to the undercarriage as well, and to the faces, and it looks spectacular. It does look like a very good model, and I think it's going to look, or it looks as though it's going to be well worth the £100 that I spent on this loco. Now, even though it's looking good for the loco so far, Heljan have definitely not without their downfalls. There are a few issues I find with the Heljan models, and the first thing that I find is the wheels for a start. Most Heljan models always come with the unpainted wheels, so they're just a silver colour, which I don't like because it stands out quite a lot. So they've not done nothing with these, which is a shame, but it's I don't think it's going to be too difficult for me to remove the wheels, or at least the bogie frames, get the wheels out, and then obviously paint them black or a dark grey, and depending on what I feel like, I'll probably end up doing a black to match the bogies. So that's not a major fault. The other downfall I find with most Heljan models is the lighting. Is the exterior lighting, the headlights and the tail lights. Normally the actual bulbs are very small and therefore not very bright, and I find that lets down the Heljan model considerably as well. So I'm hoping that Heljan have done something better to this loco. I have just found out as well, but when I'm looking at the box, that this model, or this particular model, is actually a 21 pin as well, which is obviously better than an 8 pin. So we can hopefully see some more added additions to this loco. So that's one of the things, but we'll take a better look now at the detail, and see how this model fares. Okay, so first off, as we can see, okay, this is probably a very simple livery for them to apply anyway. It's just more or less one colour. It's obviously got the BR blue colour on the side and just the standard grey roofs, and obviously the yellow ends. But what strikes me, the thing that stands out for me, is the amount of detail under the carriage itself. It's full of fantastic detail. Now if I just focus in a little bit more, as you can see, very well detailed bogie, lots of pipes, lots of boxes, lots of generators, battery boxes, what we would normally find under these sort of locos. Heljan have added them, and I have to say they've done a very good job. They've not just stuck plastic boxes underneath with no detail on them. They've added the boxes, added the details, added the pipes, added everything. I mean, even the bogies are fairly well detailed. It's got the yellow axle box, and obviously the orange brake pipe of some kind. I think they've done a very good job. Obviously the standard colour wheels really do show up, but obviously I'm going to get around to painting them at some point. So the livery's been been added quite well, with all the little writing on the side. Now I can't zoom into that, but that does actually say tail load not to exceed 64 tons, load 10 tons evenly distributed. So that's definitely on there, and doesn't look out of place. It looks really well, and the parcel service does look really well. The doors with the handles are well presented, and obviously the bars in the windows look really good as well. This is the runner number of M55994, and I'm very impressed with this logo so far. Now I think the best part of it is the front of the logo actually. Now obviously Heljan always tend to add all of their detailing parts on the front, like they have on this. They do it at both ends, all the brake pipes and stuff like that. Now this is obviously a good addition, having all this stuff on, because it saves you all the time and trouble doing it yourself and breaking all the parts. They're already on there, which is always good, but the only downside to that is that they have added it both ends, so you have to cut one end off if you're adding the NEM pockets, coupling pockets on there. They tend to, when you take them off, obviously the end of the loco doesn't look all that great. But I think with this loco, I think it's just going to be a single running unit anyway. They've obviously added the little windscreen wipers with some warning sticker, and you've also got the little handlebars both sides of the windows. Looks like it's got double headlights. Whether they both work or not, I don't know. It's obviously got the corridors, which tells me it can be connected to more than one unit. The buffers are slightly sprung, maybe not that great, but they are slightly sprung. Plastic, obviously, as usual, and would be better if they were metal, but they're doesn't feel as though they're going to come out. And obviously the same on the other end, and you can obviously see the exhaust pipes right up the side of the doors, which again I like the look of that, because it takes me back to the 80s. How most EMUs had the exhaust running up the back of the actual unit itself, and I like that effect. I always like the 80s style units. It's a shame that we've all had to progress, and now we've got up-to-date locos which aren't always as good as the 80s in my opinion. Okay, so so far so good. Very pleased with how the loco looks, very pleased with the weight. The detailing on it is absolutely brilliant. I couldn't expect any more, and all I've got to do now is take the body off, and I'm hoping that is going to be a simple procedure. I bet it's not though, but I'm hoping it is. And like I say, they've now changed the socket from an 8-pin to 21-pin, so I shall now put a 21-pin in there and see what it's like with the lights and the running. Okay, as you can see, I've now removed the actual body from the chassis itself. Now, it wasn't all that easy to remove the body, I have to say. But I mean, if you look underneath, there are 4 holes at each end, just before the bogie, and that's there's just 4 screws that are allocated into those holes. All you do is you just loosen them screws off, pull the screws out, and then you pop the body off. Now, popping the body off isn't as easy as what I thought it was going to be. It's very tight, and with on the actual body shell itself, there's a lot of minor details that could be easily broken. So I found the easiest way of doing it is at the front of each end of the loco, you've got, if you can see, these little steps just here. I put one finger on a step and then one finger in front of the body, underneath the body, and just prise them up at each corner bit by bit, and it managed to come off very tight. So you're going to have to use a little bit of force as well, but it does come off. But I say it is very tight. Whilst I've got the chassis and looking at underneath, I was talking about the actual detail on the underside of the carriage. Now, normally with a lot of locos, you just get the little detail on the outer side, and that's where it stops. On the inner side of the parts, are always just plain plastic. Now, in this case, Heljan haven't done that. They've added all the detail on the inside of the boxes and all the pipes, and also the drive shafts have been added at both ends. And I'm assuming this is just going to be some kind of axle box, 2 axle boxes, for obviously where the motor is going to be driving the axles to the bogies. And they've done brilliantly with the detail. This is probably the best detailed loco I actually own. And I'm not saying that because it's just because it's my new loco. I'm saying that because it actually is. Very, very impressed, and I think this is going to score very, very highly. So obviously I'll remove the body, and I'll remove the blanking chip, and I've put my Bachmann 21 pin decoder in there, and it looks as though it might have, I mean, obviously we've got the wiring for both ends for lighting, but it does look as though my first initial thoughts is, if you can see, it might even have interior lighting. Now it's only a guess at the moment. I'm hoping it has, and I'm hoping the lighting all round is very, very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this on the track for half an hour. I'm going to pop the body back on, and then I'm going to film it running around. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is, I might have mentioned it earlier, is I'm not sure whether this 128 was actually run singly, or if it was running in pairs, or if it even pulled coaches. I don't know. So if anyone does know, because I can't seem to find any information on the internet about this loco. Well, I haven't really looked that much, but I haven't found anything, no photos of any kind, or anything on YouTube to suggest that this did run in pairs, or if it was just a single unit, or if it did in fact pull coaches. Now, if anyone does know, please let me know, because I do have some motor rail parcel coaches that that might look good running with it, but I don't want a video pulling coaches and it looks stupid. So if anyone knows, please let me know. Anyway, I'm going to put the body on, run it for a half hour in each direction, and then I'm going to film it going around my layout. Right, so I've had the loco running around the track half hour each way, just to bed it in a bit. I did initially find that the actual motor within the unit was quite loud to begin with. It quietened down a little bit, but I think it's still a little louder than most. I'm not sure what the reason is for that. I find the Heljan motors are sometimes a little louder than others anyway, but I'm hoping as it beds in a bit more, it might quieten down. Getting the body back on wasn't so easy as I thought it would be. The actual exhaust pipes at the other end of the loco, down that end of the loco, the bottoms of him, or the bottoms of the exhaust, stick into the body quite a bit. So when you put the body back on, you find that the exhaust pipes snag on the body, so you need to be very careful to prise them away from the actual chassis, just so you don't break them. That's probably one of the only things I could really mention, as well as just taking care with the actual body and the chassis itself, because there's a lot of breakable detail on there. So it's just a case of just being very careful with it. I managed to get it on, and it's ready to go. So if I zoom in, it does have directional lighting. Now if I turn the lights off, you'll be able to see it a bit better. I'll move the loco back a little bit, zoom into the front of it. It does have, if I can get it to work, right, it does have directional lighting, as you can see. But it only has headlights. Both, it does have four, well, it has four clusters of lights, but it only has the one bulb per cluster, but the four separate units do light up. Now it only has the headlights, it doesn't have any tail lights. If it does, I can't seem to find them on the controller, so it's something I'm going to have to look into. I say it does have the headlights, and they are a lot better than old Heljan models. They're very bright, very clear, and yeah, very impressed with the lighting, which is something I always had an issue with. But yeah, very happy with that. And the other addition is also cab lighting. Now, I moved the loco a bit. I know I should move it with the controller. It has got very good cab lighting, and it lights up the whole cab very well. And my camera's not very good with picking up that sort of thing, but it does have very good cab lighting, and it lights up the whole cab, not just a little bit. It's not a very dull bulb, it's a bright bulb. It does it at both ends as well, but there are two functions for both ends. I turn the camera around so the other end is not lit up, so I have to press number 2 for the other end. I think it's number 2. No, yeah, number 2. Yeah, it lights up the other end, as you can see, and then number 1 just lights up the number 1 end. So already very impressed. Now to watch it grace Glebro Junction. Okay, so there we have it. We've seen the loco running around the layout. I'm now going to mark this loco out of 10, and the first category I'm going to mark it in is the price, and I paid the £100 mark for this, and I would probably expect to pay that at most places. I can't imagine you're going to get it much cheaper elsewhere. And £100 is, I find, is very expensive for any loco, especially a single unit. Now I wouldn't mind paying that if it was like a 4 unit, like a 411 CEP or something like that. I don't mind paying that, or a little bit more, but for any single loco, usually I would only pay up to about £70. But in this case, this £100 was definitely well worth it, and I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 for the price. The second category would be the presentation, and that would include the box. Now, if it was in the original Heljan packaging, I would give it 10 out of 10 every day of the week. But as they've now changed it into the same packaging as other brands out there, which I'm not overly keen on, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10 for the packaging, which lets it down. The third category would be the detailing. Now, this is probably the best loco for detailing I have seen up to date, and this gets a whopping 10 out of 10. Can't fault it, can't beat it. Heljan have done a marvellous job with this loco, and I've got to say, you've got to buy this low coat. If you love your detailing like I do, this is well worth £100 because the detailing alone is absolutely brilliant. The fourth category would be the running capabilities. Now, obviously, being as heavy as it is, and Heljan normally do have very good motors within their locos. This is again very good. Hasn't let me down. It runs very smoothly, very quietly. Well, I won't say it's very quiet. It's quieter now than what it was to begin with. Now run it in a bit. It was very loud to begin with. But other than that, I have had it pulling 10 coaches with ease. It does it with ease, no issues. So I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. And all the extra parts on it, the lighting, inner cab lighting and exterior lighting, very good. Heljan have well improved this category, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 purely because there are no rear lights. Whether the DPU had rear lights in real life, I wouldn't know, but I was expecting rear lights. Whether it's a button, an extra button within my controller that operates them, I don't know. I can't find it, so at the moment it's just going to be rated a 9. So overall, Heljan have done a very good job with this loco. In fact, I think it's probably Heljan's best yet. And the good thing about this is that they've ventured away from their standard locos that they do. They normally only do the older stuff, 60s, 70s, 80s periods, and it's normally only single locos. And it looks like they're venturing into something new, unknown territories, and they've gone for like a DMU looking DPU unit, and they have done a brilliant job. Considering it's their first that I know of, they have done a much better job than the likes of Hornby or Batman, and I have to say this is one that I would choose over any other manufacturer every day of the week. So my overall score on this would be a 9 out of 10, possibly 8, between 8 and 9 out of 10, purely because the loco itself is fantastic. The only thing that lets it down is no rear lights. The wheels are still standard steel, which I need to paint, and the packaging. They're the only things that let it down. But once you've got the loco out on the layout, it's I can't fault it in any way. In fact, it's probably the best looking and the best running loco that I now actually own. So I wouldn't be too worried about spending another £100 on the second one, which I think I might do at some point. So that's my my review on this loco. Sorry it's been a little bit long-winded, but if hopefully it's helped any of you out there that are thinking about buying this loco, I would say get your £100 out your bank, go and buy it. You will not be disappointed. So that's it from me. I may post an update during the course of the month. I haven't done any work to the layout as such. I have actually finished the turner's yard up the other end, but there's just not enough material there to do a full video, so I'm going to do a little bit more work on the layout, and hopefully during the course of the month I will do a full update on the stuff that I have done. So until then, take care guys, I'll see you again soon.